Good morning.
Good morning.
Of course, the first thought is that this Renata, this woman, is such a mysterious personality. You know, her eyes, it strikes right away. So, how did it happen? How did you meet her? What was the first encounter between you two?
Yeah, I met her through social program that I was taking part. I was part of a team, and I was engaged in shooting, filming other mates, other prisoners, not only her, other people. And in this workshop, it was kind of theater dance workshop, is where I met her, and yes, the first thing, the first strike I had was exactly what you are saying. Her looking, her eyes, the way she looks, and I was fascinated. At the same time, I was a little bit terrified because the context was telling me, okay, this charismatic or magnetic, mysterious woman has done something also mysterious or strong or intense. Cannot be that this woman is there because of just drugs or something like this. So I didn't know at that time what the reason why she was kept in jail, but I was fascinated by her looking, the aura, we say, around her.
And did she accept right away to be in your film?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. Yeah, this is the other characteristic about this woman, is that she's very much willing to take part in artistic projects. She's known in jail for not talking to anybody. Like, she doesn't even communicate with professionals in jail. The director of the jail said to me, Alexis, I really don't understand, how do you do this? Because she doesn't speak to anybody. So how do you come so many days and shoot for so many days? What do you do with her? I said, we talk. I said, how? But so when I approached her and I said that I wanted to make a film, I didn't approach directly to her to say that I wanted to make a film. I wanted to make an interview to her and to others. And she agreed. And through the interview, very quickly, we realized that we had things in common, that we love poetry, that we love classical music. I'm a musician, a classical musician. I've been trained as a musician. So suddenly, in philosophy, we talk about authors, books. She was very excited, and me too. So, and then is when I said, would you agree to allow me to shoot, to make a portrait of you? And she was more than welcoming. Sometimes when I think about this, I think that she was waiting for someone to really pay attention to her in the way that she wants to be looked at. And she wants to be looked at as an artist, as someone who has a special sensitivity, either for poetry, for singing, or just to listen her stories or what she thinks about life in general. So she was very much more than welcoming. She was almost like waiting for this moment to happen. And me too, somehow.
Why did you name the film "This Film Is About Me"?
Initially, because I asked this question at some point of the film, I asked this question straight to Renata, and she answers this. And then, secondly, when you don't know the film and you just read the title, you might think that could be also the film about me. And this is exactly what the film is about. I believe any film that is making a portrait of someone any film, any artistic film which is trying to make a portrait is also a portrait of the painter, or in this case of the director. Inevitably, is the way I look at her says a lot about me. So, and I wanted also consciously to make this kind of game of mirrors between her and me. But to be more realistic, the main, obviously, the portrait is about this woman, about Renata, and indirectly about me and our relationship. And hopefully, if the viewer gets involved into this game, in this mirror game, hopefully it's also about the viewer. It's not just about this woman and this guy who is shooting and I'm just sitting there looking at a story that has nothing to do with my life. Hopefully it will also involve the viewer in a more deep level, because maybe the viewer hasn't done the same things that Renata did, but this is also the anecdota. Inevitably, it will remove things from the spectator, and I believe these things that are removing, some people have very contradictional feelings about the film, not the film, about this woman. If this happens, I believe it's because there is something in this mirror that is echoing something in you that either you cannot accept or you deny, for example, the shadow, and then the film is about also you. So, and if you read this film is about me, you can read this me as a me, who is watching the film as well.
I wonder, as Renata is, I don't know if I can say if she is a co-author of the film. Is she?
She is. I mean, a film goes through very different stages in the process. It grows. It's an amazing journey to make a film, a documentary. It takes very different stages, and obviously in a very primary stage of the film, definitely Renata is a co-author.
Mm-hmm.
But in a later stages, and I would say the most difficult ones and the crucial ones, which is the editing process, she was not there. And so the real Renata was a little bit away from the Renata which was slowly give birth in the editing room. So this, I guess, it happens with any character of any film. But at the beginning, we really played together. Me as a director, she's an actress somehow, and sometimes she directing me even in a more subtle way. But yes, definitely. Sometimes I say that this movie is made by 6 hands. As a musician, we say playing piano 4 hands, for example, with another partner, say 6 hands. 2 hands of Renata, 2 hands of my editor, Manuel Muñoz Rivas, which is more than just someone who has skills or technique, is someone who has ideas and who was able to read my intentions fully, so that I didn't need to burn my eyes hours and hours in the editing room. I could have distance to really dialogue with the material and me. So 6 hands. Definitely.
Maybe we can come back a bit to this game of mirrors, which is, I think, gave a form to this film, right? This idea. Yes. And you mentioned in one interview that you felt in this process, you felt kind of a childlike freedom.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing, and I want you to talk a bit more about it. Can you explain what happened there?
Well, 2 things. I will try to be brief with this. One is biographical, that I've been trained as a classical pianist, and it's a very hard discipline, classical training. You have to play many hours, you have to repeat same pieces. It's a very slow, demanding process, and it's a very lonely process. You typical classical pianist spend hours and hours on his own in a room playing the piano. And part of my nature is to share. I really want to share and play, not the piano, but play with others. And with Renata, I met two desires that I was longing. I matched these two desires. One was also to express my ideas and my feelings through cinema, which is this passion that we are talking about. That I'm both. I'm a musician and a filmmaker, and someone with who I could really play with. And when I say this childhood feeling, I say it in the full meaning of the word, because I shoot with a great deal of innocence. It was my first experience shooting with a camera. I haven't had academic training as a filmmaker, so I was totally innocent. I was not, let's say, experienced or aware of many things. I just went through my intuition, and I had my ideas, and Renata was giving me back in the same way the space, the confidence, the freedom to shoot, to experiment with her. So I felt like a child because I was shooting really innocently and happily with her in an environment which is the opposite. Amazingly, we create a space of freedom, and also because I felt recognized by her, and I think for her was the same. I think she was recognized by me. I didn't judge her, ever, never, at all. We both really wanted to make a film. It's as basic as this, and we get excited with the same beauty when we see an image that is beautiful, when we hear a poem, a verse. So we really, like childs of friends who meet in doesn't matter where, we started to shoot and to make the film together. So innocent, like a child, and without the worries of a professional filmmaker, somehow. Although this has also not a very good side, of course, because then in the editing room, I realized almost everything. I woke up, and it was beautiful and hard at the same time. So yes, it's honestly is like that.
And what is your relationship now with Renata? Do you keep in touch?
We keep in touch, but it's complicated because I went through a long process. I started to shoot her many years ago. Then I got not tired, but I got exhausted because not everything is light and joy and innocent. So it's difficult. So I had to take a break, and then actually after taking the break, I decided to do a master in documentary directing and production.
Become a professional filmmaker.
And then I learned some things, but most important, I met very important people that accompany me now, thanks to these masters, and then gradually I came back into the material. I need a distance from what I shoot, from the experience, and from the experience is by far bigger than the movie. And now my relationship with her is delicate because I don't know. I guess it will happen with many documentaries which deals with characters very deeply and get very close relationship. This is not fiction. You cannot say goodbye. The work is done. Bye bye. And you establish a relationship. So my relationship now, so many years after, with Renata, is delicate, it's complicated. I'm very worried about her freedom when she will be in the real world, how she will deal with that. And I'm trying to help, but to a certain extent. So it's also very dramatic to realize that you develop a relationship with a character in the context of a film. And out of this context, it's very different. I have my own life, I have my own family, I have my own friends and problems. And we I think for a prisoner, if something happens like this, it's very exceptional. It creates like a bubble and a little bit of an illusion, a non-realistic situation, because I was not a prisoner, but I was going there very often with a privilege that nobody had, not even family members or anything, although Renata has no family members. But so I know that for her this was very important, and she created an image perhaps of myself that doesn't fit with the reality. I'm more than the person who was 3 hours there every day in jail, no? So this is difficult, and it will only be solved when she will be free. And then we will have an encounter. She didn't see the film yet.
Okay.
So
why didn't she see the film?
She's not allowed. In jail, you cannot, unless you get inside and you do a projection, and not a private projection. It should be a movie that everybody could see. And I think she would be happy for that, of course, the heroine with an audience. But I'm not allowed anymore. My permiso, my card to get inside jail expired many years ago. And now with the changed government, it changed the whole situation. Impossible. Actually, what I did in Spain nowadays is just impossible. So also this is quite exceptional. So I'm really looking forward to see the movie with Renata, of course. I was thinking to shoot her how she's looking at the movie. And then the game of mirrors is endless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
In touch. If I get some comments or feedback, I will let you know.
Please.
After the festival.
I would love to.
Okay. So bye-bye.
Okay, take care and thank you very much for the talk.
Ciao.